So I was messing this up by not getting one of the top ones. Oh, really? This stays on the ground. Interesting. But it's not yellow. These ones off to the side still don't go anywhere though? I wonder if it matters, like, which ending you choose. Are there other things like this that'll pop up? Where would I find them? Oh, right. I was gonna do shout outs in this video because I asked for hints. I think 2 of you popped in with a hint about the column in here. Charles and Prestidigititis. Thanks for the hint about the column, guys. It was going over my head that I was missing one of the triangles at the top. Bunny said I should check out the pond between the city and the quarry and try to figure out what it is. And when I was editing one of my videos, guys, I actually had a thought that these square lanterns I just had a moment where in my mind, was comparing them to the yellow laser boxes. And I didn't really quite make the connection, but I have since kind of seen people say that the pond in the middle of this island is actually a map of the island, and I think that is super cool. I don't know what else is going on here. Like, I just see the lanterns and some lilies. Some are yellow, some are purple, some are open, some are closed. I saw some clams that were open. There's one right there. And then there's even smaller things like, look, this triangular shaped leaf. I have no idea what could be something and what could be nothing. I wonder if there's a thing that represents the boat and wherever I left the boat. Also the like fountains themselves. I wonder if those mean anything. Oh, and there's the statue of this like girl holding one of the lanterns, and that lantern is actually not lit. The rest of them are lit, I presume, because I got the laser boxes. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, the mountain is in that general area, so maybe the statue represents the mountain. Look at all these open clamshells. Kind of hard to think of, like, well, what's on the island? We've got The environmental puzzles, there's way too many of those though. I think there's probably way too many environmental puzzles for them to be indicated on this map by anything. Maybe the fountains are the black pylons though. So we've got the environmental puzzles, we've got the black pylons, we've got laser boxes, there's the mountain, which is a pretty big deal, I think. That's a very unique thing on the island. Well, we've got different biomes, but I don't think the pond is divided up into different biomes, or if it is, I can't really tell. There are those small panels that are scattered around with the triangles on them. Those are so small though. Could they really be on here? The actual grid puzzles themselves, there's also probably like way too many of those too to be on here. Yeah, I'm not sure what else is even in the world. Maybe entrances and exits to the underground, something like that. Maybe that's what the clamshells could be. They're all like open now. I don't know if I had any closed ones. Because I did recently go through and probably open the rest of those doors. Most, if not all of them. So if that's what those represent, then the clams should be open. It feels a little disjointed. It feels like I'm pulling at nothing though. Like, how could those things correlate? And how would you discover this? You know, it's so... I've only got 4 more left on this one. You know, I know there's gotta be one with this building. There was something about the way the paint... Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so funny that I was just talking about it. Is that it? Just that one? Just that one? Oh. I actually thought it would have to do with, like, I don't know, some different lines. I'm gonna continue to keep an eye out for environmental puzzles. Maybe I'll even look up a guide on a couple, maybe for a pylon, just to have 100%ed one of those pylons. There's one in the flowers? Oh my god. Oh, look. There's a clamshell here that is closed. Ooh. What part of the map is this? Is this a boat? There's all these metal chunks, like the boat wreckage. Do I have to go over to the boat? Was there some... You know, there's probably more shit there, yeah. For the boat. How am I supposed to get this with this freaking tree in the way? Crazy how you can be looking right at it. It's all about perspective. Oh, there's another one right around here. The purple one. There we go. Okay, and there's one more by the quarry on the roof that I missed. And then we should have one full pylon. Just kind of wanted to see what happens when we do get one. Okay, the thing that we missed before. So this will be the last one for this pylon. We'll see what happens. turned white. It changed color. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Let's go see if the pond changed at all. Oh, the water goes higher now. I was right. Okay, cool. You know, I think that that is cool. I do wish there was more. I'm not saying that I necessarily think that there should be like a story or a narrative or something, but if it could affect the environment in some way, I think that would be really neat. Having the fountain go slightly higher and changing the color of the actual pylon is not really all that exciting by themselves on their own. Maybe there's something else though. This is kind of where I almost got one of them in the sky. Ooh, what? Are you serious? We just have to stand out here for this one? Alright. We gotta go change a laser. That was not the one I was looking for. I was looking for the negative space one. So someone else said that there are more audio logs in the cave area, and I should try to find those. That's from somebody with a name I'm not going to be able to pronounce properly. Zemislav. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Because those were really interesting audio recordings, the two that I found in here. And if there's more, I definitely would be interested in hearing them. It's probably just going to be tough to find them. They're so tiny.
God bade me behold the sea, and I saw the ships sinking and the planks floating. Then the planks too were submerged. And God said to me, "Those who voyage are not saved." And he said to me, "Those who, instead of voyaging, cast themselves into the sea, take a risk." And he said to me, "Those who voyage and take no risk shall perish." And he said to me, "In taking the risk, there is a part of salvation." And the wave came and lifted those beneath it and overran the shore. And he said to me, "The surface of the sea is a gleam that cannot be reached, and the bottom is a darkness impenetrable. And between the two are great fishes, which are to be feared." Nefari, circa 970. What?
I'm going to the store. Do you want a sandwich or something?
You've been standing there for like an hour.
I didn't want to interrupt.
And I don't like sandwiches. Have you ever seen me with a sandwich? Why would you think I want a sandwich?
Sorry.
No, I need some sleep.
It's okay. We're all working hard.
I just want to read it right. We're going to be hearing this a lot of times. Every little thing matters because it gets so multiplied.
It's good. It's already good.
Thanks. Yeah. But we've kind of picked high goalposts. Every little bit matters. Can you get me a coffee?
As I understand it, this game is about people who are making a video game. It's kind of like meta. Like you're basically plugged into the simulator of the video game that you are making. Like that's the story. I'm sure you could take it a few different ways, but I actually like that. I think it's fine. I think it's kind of cool. Why not? So I kind of imagine, you know, the people that are reading the things are, you know, voice actors or whatever. Or the devs are trying to find the right quotes to fit the message that they want to send. That kind of thing. I've kind of picked this place over and I haven't found any other recordings. I guess the audio logs could be something that you have to gather. Maybe those are in the pond as well. I forgot about them. Wait, there's one like right behind me? Get out of here. Oh, I see it. Sneaky little fucks.
The concept of a clock enfolds all succession in time. In the concept, the 6th hour is not earlier than the 7th or 8th, although the clock never strikes the hour, save when the concept biddeth. Nicholas of Cusa, 1450.
That's mine, you know.
Yeah. Well, I have some ideas about it, and I just wanted to give it a try. See how it goes?
Next thing I know, you'll be taking over all the Kuza pieces. What kind of ideas?
I don't know. Subconscious drives, right? Like, with anything creative.
Did you feel this way before your trip to the island? Or after?
Well, I think after. Yeah, mostly after. I had a seed of it before, even back when I first heard the piece, when you first picked it out. But I didn't really notice then. Now it's like the princess and the pea. I don't mean to be stepping on your toes, though. Really, the drive is personal. I wanted to record this one so I can hear it the way I want to hear it. Just to set something right for myself.
All right. I'm gonna file this under the category of good problems to have. Attitude to the piece changed or clarified, I guess, maybe based on the trip. That means it's working. Something's working, right? Maybe. Back when we started, I would have counted us lucky to ever get this far.
But here we are.
Here we are. Record away, and I will take my leave. Thanking you for this opportunity to introspect my adversity.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, how many are there here? How many other things have I missed? You're shitting me. This doesn't count because it's not filled in, right? But it's just so circular. Ah, and there's an ending. Oh my goodness. Let me go change the inside of this building to green first. Oh my god, where do you want me? Where should I be? Right, I just went up and down the town tower again to see if I could see anything new, and I didn't see anything new to me. I guess I'll go back, try to find some more of those recordings. I got this one already. No, I didn't. It's flashing. That means I haven't listened to it, right?
It's just the new teapot beeping. It boils fast, but that beep bothers me. Moving on?
So, next I want to raise this problem, which is that I think we don't have enough smart representation from materialist atheists, physicalists, anything in that neighborhood of ideas. And I've been trying to do something about that, but it's hard. The problem is that most coherent atheists' creeds are focused on defeating some specific idea of God, or are angry about the historical activities of organized religions, rather than, say, from first principles, making a good case for the impossibility of any concept of God, which would be more like what we're after.
I'm having the same problem. So many justifications of atheism devolve into assertions of the implausibility of Bible stories. Someone like Bertrand Russell, a very advanced thinker, but his commentary on religion all seems to be like Why I Am Not a Christian. Very limited in scope. It is way too small compared to the vision of God and the pieces we're juxtaposing.
Can you repeat that last part? You kind of just dropped out a little bit.
Oh, just that it's a very provincial idea of God that's usually advanced in those arguments. Sometimes even a straw man God. And it doesn't have much in common with the God visualized by Cusa or Spinoza or the great Sufis or even Einstein, whoever. So it just doesn't play on the same field.
When people are explicitly pushing materialism, they're usually philosophers or writers, not physicists, not people who actually do the frontline work of understanding the physical world. With the heavy hitters in physics, it's very hard. It's hard to find good statements that aren't just arguing against strawmen. And it's strange because in the modern age, a reasonable portion of working physicists are atheists. Not all by any means, but a reasonable portion. But it's hard to get strong and articulate statements from that sector.
Yeah. I mean, the closest you get is somebody like Feynman, where science gives us a great degree of certainty about certain things, but outside those, it's not a good idea to tell ourselves nice stories and speculate. It's just best to realize we don't know yet about the bigger questions, etc. But we have a lot of Feynman already. Ooh, Paul Dirac was at least a staunch atheist at one point in his life, but I don't know if he has direct statements on record. I'll keep an eye out.
Dirac was far from a materialist, though. He believed the universe is made out of math. That's an oversimplification, of course. He even mentioned God a few times in an Einstein kind of way.
Well, this is all so crazy because among scientifically educated people, it's the cultural default, right? If you're a scientist or a computer programmer kind of person, atheist materialism is supposed to be the basic belief. If you're not a materialist, you're stupid. But if we can't find anyone who makes a good case for it, how does that happen?
Well, it's easy to be convinced of the absurdity of stories in common Christianity, Judaism, whatever. So if that's your picture of spiritual beliefs and you have an aversion to digging too hard into your own worldview, which most of us do, then there you go. Anything that seems religious is goofy Bible stories, and materialism is anti-religious. And it's the general impression that smart people are materialists, and hey, I want to be smart, so case closed.
Also, there are all these so-called spiritual people who believe basically anything and try to convince everyone.
In addition to goofy Bible stories, did I forget to mention ghost stories, astrologers, spoonbenders, and all kinds of frauds?
It's a ton of noise. It makes it almost impossible for an outsider looking in to see high-quality thought in the world of spirituality. If I can even generalize spirituality to one thing. So it's easy, if you're already leaning toward materialism, to see these flaky spiritual people, extrapolate that to all spiritual people, and say all that stuff is garbage.
That's how it worked for me. For a while.
Okay, but despite all this, there's a large contingent of present-day real scientists who believe in some form of atheist materialism and whose beliefs have been carefully considered. So we need to ensure we respect that viewpoint.
It's
I
so
remember
frustrating.
that. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Carl Sagan has a good piece in Demon Haunted World, where he talks about science as a profound source of spirituality. But he doesn't mean mystical spirituality. He means just pure dedication to truth and the development of a wise perspective on our place in the world. It's nice, and it's a picture of atheism that isn't hostile or contemptuous.
Yeah, I read that, and what you're talking about is a beautiful piece, and I tried to get it, but Sagan's people want too much money.
Can't we just pay more?
No. It would trigger a bunch of most favored nation clauses, and we have to pay everyone a lot more, and we go broke. So, no Sagan for us. It is a shame, since he was such a great thinker, and eloquent, too.
Okay, there was way too much in that conversation. There was way too much happening there. Oh my god. I don't think that most scientists are atheists these days. I think that a lot more of the atheist versus theist population these days is split by generation. I think a lot more younger people are turning or becoming atheist than a lot more older people. I think the greatest split in people that believe in God or gods and people that don't has to do with age. There's definitely a lot of other stuff going on too, but I think that's probably the most important thing. There was a lot to unpack there in that conversation, though. There's no way I can remember all of it. There's too much going on there.
Just reading these well, picking the right takes, placing them.
Yeah, I don't think it pays to be too neat. We want to leave some traces of us for the intrepid to find.
What do you mean? Any visitor to that island is going to hear quite a lot of us, if they poke around.
Oh yeah, no, sure, but I mean, showing what's happening behind the scenes a little bit to ensure we keep some authenticity. Because if we get too concerned with saying a bunch of wise things in the least personally revealing way, then we're basically putting up a front, in danger of it becoming a false front. It's a slippery slope, and you know how easily we could slide into pomposity. I mean, nobody wants that, but would we notice if it happened? Or are we too close to the project? Look, I just think if we include some of our interactions, show that we aren't these transcendent, perfect beings, that we get stuck sometimes. We get into arguments or get depressed. Then at least it's not a false front. At least we're not hiding.
Authenticity is good, yes, but you can find human drama anywhere. I mean, we're drowning in it from day to day. We're supposed to be building a quiet environment away from drama, not celebrating it. Look, these are objects of contemplation. These are about focus and clarity. We agreed at the outset.
Yeah, I know. And I don't want to change any of that. Just a little added twist, you know? Tucked away deep. It doesn't have to be drama. It's just reality.
Reality. So what, we should record a meeting and stick it in?
Maybe. But we already have some good stuff. Oh, like that little encounter the other week where you offered to buy a girl a sandwich?
Oh.
Her mic was running, so it's in the archive. Look, it's fine. It's in context, it's perfect. Because we're not lecturing from on high. These recordings are part of an endeavor built by human beings. And they aspire to truth with a capital T, but we also have to remember that they cannot actually get there. We should be clear to the intrepid that we know this. I think it'll make it better.
Okay, sure. We'll at least see how it feels. I mean, on that island, we are going to be in very susceptible states. So, be careful with it.
Okay.
Seems I get to be the pioneer of being mildly embarrassed.
Oh, and also, I should probably let you know, I'm recording this conversation right now.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious.
Oh. What? It will make it better, trust me.
Okay, yeah. Game devs are imperfect human beings, just like the rest of us. It's not like they have absolute truth and that their vision is going to be absolute truth. So whatever they say about religion or whatever, you know, it's still just another human perspective.
In any case, our 3 days old infant cannot be very confident of any interpretation it puts on a universe which it only discovered a minute or two ago. We have said it has 70 years of life before it, but in truth, its expectation of life would seem to be nearer to 70,000 years. It may be puzzled, distressed, and often irritated at the apparent meaninglessness and incomprehensibility of the world to which it has suddenly wakened up. But it is still very young. It might travel half the world over before finding another baby as young and inexperienced as itself. It has before it time enough and to spare in which it may understand everything. Sooner or later, the pieces of the puzzle must begin to fit together. Although it may reasonably be doubted whether the whole picture can ever be comprehensible to one small and apparently quite insignificant part of the picture. James Jeans, 1928.
I kind of am thinking like that last quote, you know, thinking about how game devs and writers, anybody who creates stuff is just another imperfect human being, but we have a long tradition of criticizing and critiquing the work of other imperfect human beings. It's kind of like that's what we do. When somebody writes something, when people make a movie, it gets critiqued and we write reviews and we analyze it, and video games should be no different, and I don't think they are. And I love how relatively new the medium is, and how, you know, we still have a long way to go to making awesome games that are cool experiences. We have so many more games to experience. Let me put it that way. And it is definitely our prerogative as consumers to pass whatever judgment we feel like on the stuff we consume. You know, people say things like, oh, you're taking it too seriously, it's just a video game, but you know, video games can and should be taken just as seriously as any other medium. You know, there are dumb movies made for people to just laugh at, and that's fine. And there are video games that are not deep and that are just, you know, made to be a little bit of escapism, but there's no reason why we can't have serious games as well. Although I still feel like the video game industry is still in this rut of some games taking themselves way too seriously. We discovered this amazing medium really in the past 10 years or so. There's some explosion of games that are really about heavy topics, and they're done heavy-handedly. There's definitely some good ones out there, but we have a lot of games that are not done maybe as well because they're just a little bit bloated with self-importance. But I think that is okay. I think we're allowed. I think that's part of growing as an industry, and I think that's great. You know, I still haven't gotten this one, I don't think. close as I've gotten. We also wanted to go out to the shipwreck. Let's head out there. Yeah, I came out here pretty early on in the game and I didn't know about the environmental puzzles yet. Find an answer to that business with the clamshells. Maybe I'll just look that up. Okay, let's look it up. The map in the witness. The lake is a map of the island containing unique markers that act as a handy way to track your progress in-game. Oh, I guess it makes sense. The lanterns light up when you get laser boxes. The fountains are obelisks. I figured that out. Flowers. Audio logs. Oh, the yellow flowers are for the caves. Okay. Wait, the triangular leaves are something? Discarded panels. What are those? Are those the ones with the triangles on them? Oh, okay. Clams are bunkers. What? Is that what I said basically? That they're entrances to the caves underground? Oh, 6 videos, 6 bunkers, 6 clams in the lake. If the claim is opened, you've gained access to the bunker. I thought I got all the codes for the theater. Ooh, I still didn't get one, and it's on this boat somewhere? I feel like I've been all over this boat. Oh, there's so many I haven't found. Oh no. Oh, so the triangular flowers, or triangular leaves. There was one on the boat. There was a panel on the boat. Yep, so there's one right here. Jeez, man, that's subtle. That is subtle. What happens if you get all the obelisks? Do they do like a water show? I feel like they should. I feel like you worked for that. Oh, it's fine. It's all good. If I can't get to this last thing, I'm not too worried about it. I've had a really good run in this game. It's been super fun. So that bumped my score up to 512 plus 83 plus 1. 100% is 523, 135, 6. I think I did pretty good. I think this is respectable.